Last month, a memorable exchange with Marjorie Taylor Greene in the House Oversight Committee added a colorful new phrase to the congressional record.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
No, it's just that Marjorie is a little slow.
Yeah. Just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
I had to ask her if she understood because she's not the brightest.
And bleach blonde,
Bad built,
butch body.
That's right.
It was quite the sight to see Marjorie Taylor Greene recently chaired to the crispiness of a marshmallow over a campfire. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and Jimmy Kimmel provided MTG the generous portion of humble pie. And I have to admit, it was delicious.
That just came out?
Not really. So, like, when you clip it up, I mean, it looked like it was really fast, but it wasn't.
It's so good. Was that floating around in your head before this?
No.
Now that we're back to dissecting the Donnie diapers, would you kindly like this video if you're a die-hard Democrat? This will help spread the word to as many people as possible. Despite the fact that Crockett and Greene faced off in a duel, let's concentrate on the real high point of this political show, the zinger Crockett unleashed. Who would have thought that a few offensive remarks could spark a national conversation on social media and make CSPAN trend like it was the Super Bowl? Jasmine Crockett dropped a verbal bombshell that left everyone stunned, rather than just giving MTG a conventional backhand. The phrase bleach blonde, bad built butch body will surely stick in the annals of Congressman history. It appeared as though she took several shots, mixed them, and then presented a feisty smoothie. What's surprising is that Crockett didn't dedicate hours to producing this masterpiece. Nope, it was an impromptu idea born out of frustration after a long day of waiting. Imagine being idle for 9 hours, twiddling your thumbs, and then MTG starts hurling mud at you. That's why Crockett's filter vanished from the window faster on election day than any politician's promises made sense. And holy cow, that sentence went viral in a sea of tasteless tweets. Crockett's phone started to sparkle like a Christmas tree, and she was breathing heavily.
I've been trying to make sure that people understand that this election should be about them. We spend so much time focusing on the name because they wanted to be by Trump's side as he was in trial.
So you had to wait for that?
So we had to wait for them to come back.
Her pastor was first in line, and he was probably thinking, Lord, have mercy. What has my congregant done now? He had to tell her to warn him the next time so he wouldn't spit on his holy water. However, it wasn't just the internet that went bonkers. Even some of the stubby suits across the aisle had to tip their caps to Crockett's biting comedy. Consider this. Republican lawmakers, who are renowned for having poker faces, are suddenly disclosing their covert lovers. They're winking across the aisle and exchanging indirect texts, much like teenagers swapping notes in class. I said that, so keep it to yourself. Lovely burn, gal. It's as if Crockett had inadvertently stumbled into a hipster's political club that she had no idea existed. 1 minute she's having an intense argument, and the next she's getting the political equivalent of high fives from both sides of the room. Well, sort of. Not to mention the impact social media plays in all of this. Crockett was caught off guard by the excitement that greeted her when her phone rang unexpectedly, as if she had won the lottery. As soon as her group hit the post button, causing the video clip to go viral and be shared more widely than rumors on a small-town bingo night. This whole scenario just goes to show that sometimes well-prepared speeches don't have the most influence in the political sphere. Instead, it's the impromptu, off-the-cuff remarks that really get people talking. Before she even entered the hearing, Crockett was just another person in the crowd, but when she became the queen of the clapback, her popularity transcended political boundaries.
Now I'm upset because it's already late at night. I've been here all day, ready to work. Y'all aren't here. And you're still talking about that failed trial. So they were supposed to either kick her out or she was supposed to apologize. And ultimately, Comer, who y'all saw was very...
There was a lot of confusion, chaos, and amusing moments at the committee hearing from hell. But that was just the beginning. Jasmine Crockett had just presented MTG with a bowl of hot word salad. Imagine this. On a typical day on Capitol Hill, lawmakers are supposed to be ready to chastise Attorney General Merrick Garland. However, instead of starting at 11 a.m. as usual, they decided to start at 8 p.m. Why? Some of these jokers decided that backing Trump in New York was more important than carrying out their actual duties. Is it really her fault that she seemed a little sour? Well, I'm upset now that it's late at night. You guys aren't here, and you're still talking about that botched trial. Even though I've been here all day prepared to work, she said. God bless her heart. Crockett wouldn't have it. While her coworkers were having fun, she had been cooling her heels all day. Hold on, things will improve. In her infinite wisdom, MTG decides that this is the best time to go after any random judge. She appeared to have entered the wrong hearing and begun reading from the wrong script. Crockett would have to ask if MTG even understood what was going on, perhaps wondering if she'd wandered into the Twilight Zone. She said, "She's not the brightest, so I had to ask her if she understood." At this point, you would think that someone would step in to restore order. Untrue. The chairman, bless him, was about as useful as a chocolate teapot. He wears hearing aids, it turns out, so he could only hear half of what was said. That means that while MTG is going nuts and Crockett is trying to make sense of it all, the man in charge is just sitting there like a confused dog. For a while, the whole circus act went on, with Greene openly attacking Crockett and the chairman fumbling around like he had lost his glasses in a haystack. It's like watching a three-ring circus. Only instead of talented performers, politicians are competing for the silliest act.
So I sent him the voicemail and I was like, I'm in a hearing. And he was like, I know. The next time you say bleach blonde, bad build, butch body, please let me know so I don't have water in my mouth and spit it out. And they were like, and then I do have a few text messages from some Republican men. And then I've had some Republican men walk up to me and say, I love your eyelashes.
Poor Crockett, caught in the middle of all this turmoil, is probably wondering if she can call a complete 180-degree turn on her professional choice. She clarified that a considerable amount of time had elapsed between Greene's attack and her now famous return. But it was like watching a train wreck happen slowly. The chairman was difficult to hear and seemed to have forgotten how to use his gavel. Folks, it seems that MTG isn't only driving Democrats insane. Many Republicans are also completely enamored with her. I never thought the entire Congress could roll their eyes like the Queen of Cannon. After Congresswoman Crockett's verbal abuse, an intriguing development occurred in the background. Her Republican colleagues were secretly high-fiving her in the corridors. Is it accurate? We're talking about subtly winking Republican women and Republican men that tucked "nice job" remarks into her direct messages. They looked like they were all at a middle school dance, mixing in with the opposition to avoid being discovered. Hurt Crockett shed a few tears as he said, "Her people don't like her either." Imagine becoming so annoyed that people in your own group start cheering for the other team. It appears that the Patriots have suddenly begun cheering for the Jets. When it occurs, you can tell something is wrong. It was Crockett's comment that I'd be hard-pressed to find someone dumber in the whole dang House of Representatives that was the truly stunning part. That says something, especially given some of Congress yahoos. It's as if MTG won the contest to have the lowest IQ. So, what does all of this entail for old Marjorie? I suppose things aren't looking well. Being hostile on both sides makes everything difficult. It's like trying to organize a potluck when nobody is eating the food you brought. When even members of your own party are hiding in supply closets to avoid you, have successful luck getting co-sponsors for your Jewish Space Lasers Protection Act. This disdain between the parties could seriously hurt MTG's influence in Congress. When she finds herself sitting by herself at the political lunch table, she might find that no one wants to share snacks with her or agree with her ridiculous ideas. It's going to be difficult to pass any wacky legislation when your coworkers are so busy pretending that their phones are buzzing every time you walk by.
If y'all didn't realize, I got 2 hearing aids, I can't hear.
That's convenient.
So we were like, oh, so we're having a hearing about the fact that you don't have the audio recordings from the AG. Got it. My pastor was the first person I heard from.
Was he upset with you?
He wasn't.
He wasn't.
Okay. You'd have to know my pastor to know that he's about this life.
And let's face it, allies are necessary for political success. At a perfume convention, MTG isn't exactly making as many friends as a skunk would. Relationships are being destroyed by her faster than a matchstick model competition pyromaniac. At this rate, she'll be lucky to get a co-signer on a lunch order, let alone a bill. Now, in between embarrassing herself before Congress and creating some amusing content, our fave late-night host was working on something hilarious. The bleached blonde beauty threatened to make Jimmy Kimmel, the queen of political mockery, take a shot at her. Kimmel has a knack for creating nicknames that make you spill your coffee. When introducing Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, he couldn't help but bring up her viral dismantling of MTG. But when Kimmel did more than just quote Crockett's bleached blonde, bad-built butch body joke, it got better. Oh no, he would have to thin the mixture with his special sauce. Imagine this. Kimmel and Crockett, like two peas in a pod, grinned like elementary school kids as they thought of creative ways to describe our favorite Georgia peach. Really, horsehair Hitler. A moniker like that sticks to your mind like gum on your trainers. And Canon Hot Pocket. I'll never be able to look at my microwave snacks the same way again. Kimmel's humor, on the other hand, goes beyond a simple comedic effect. He seems to be serving us comedy on the side with his political analysis. He has a gift for having us all laugh out loud at these difficult, convoluted political situations. It appears as though he is saying, "Hey, I know this stuff is crazy, but let's laugh about it together. What else are you aware of?" It works. Kimmel's audience devours it like it's the last slice of pizza at 2 in the morning. His approach seems to resonate with people in a specific way. Maybe it's because he doesn't mind when he calls a spade. In this case, labeling Greene a bleached blonde bad-built butch body.
People should look at this election and be very selfish about it and say, you know what? I've got to do what's right for me. And there were some other people from home that were like texting me like, oh my gosh. And I was like, okay, they follow me. So my team put it up. No, it was going viral.
Yeah.
But let's be honest for a minute. Kimmel isn't just tossing remarks around because he's bored. His humor has a sardonic quality to it. By giving these political figures these ridiculous nicknames, he is actually calling attention to their statements and actions. He shouts, "Hey, look at this nonsense," but we laugh. That's the secret to political humor, folks. Although it's not the primary objective, making us laugh is a big one. The idea is to provide us with a way to deal with this political instability without losing our minds. Kimmel's lighthearted style serves as a vent for all the anger and annoyance we get when we watch the news. Now, folks, although we've been having a wonderful time giggling about Marjorie Taylor Greene's actions, let's not lose sight of the significant issues that lie beneath all of this political theater. Jasmine Crockett isn't just here to criticize MTG. She has some excellent ideas about how to actually make things better for regular people like you and me. At this point, you might be thinking, oh no, another politician making promises. But hold on for a moment. In this text, Crockett is talking about more than simply a few competitors. She is making the case that our focus should be on the Democrats, who control the Senate, House, and the White House in general. Why? Because that is actually how things are done in Washington. Let's speak about housing for a minute. How many of you are currently struggling to become homeowners? Yes, I thought so. In this case, Crockett is not holding back. She is blasting the prohibitive interest rates and excessive housing costs that keep individuals from accumulating their elusive generational riches. It's nearly as challenging as trying to roller skate up a grease pole. Hold on, things get worse. Do you remember the benefits of SETEG? Remember the program that helped people put food on their tables? Then are you aware of what the Republicans desire? According to Crockett, a startling $30 billion will be removed from the project. Let's not forget that this is a billion with a B. The typical person's daily income is currently only $6. $6. That wouldn't even cover the cost of a family's meals, much less a fancy Starbucks coffee. Things start to get really interesting at this point. Crockett paints a pretty clear picture of the differences between Democrats and Republicans. On the one hand, Democrats are trying to make life a little bit easier for average people. Republicans, on the other hand, appear determined to make life worse for anyone who does not possess $1 million. Crockett is actually encouraging egocentric behavior among voters, which is alarming. You did hear it. That's true. She is discussing how to be self-centered in a way that benefits everyone, not screw everyone else and grab everything you can. It is similar to being told when you are flying to put on your oxygen mask before everyone else's. You have to take care of yourself before you can help others. So what does this all mean for us? You and me.
Is she the dumbest person in the House of Representatives?
I'd be hard-pressed to find someone dumber. So many people are not able to build that generational wealth because they can't buy a home right now because of interest rates.
To put it another way, Crockett effectively informs us that a political awakening is necessary. It's more than just laughing over the latest MTG gaffe or getting furious over the day's injustice. All it takes is stepping back to ask ourselves, who is genuinely trying to improve my life? With a broad perspective. It's a challenging topic, and to be really honest, there are times when we feel like nobody in Washington is on our side. But Crockett argues that if we want to see progress, we have to start with putting together the right team. And by right team, she also means Democrats. Either you love them or you hate them. That's her pitch. You might be wondering what would happen when the laughter died down, since Kimmel and Crockett were gorging on MTG like marshmallows over a bonfire. The impact of this political comedy event was more unexpected than Hurricane Trump's hair. So settle in, my love. First off, what was MTG's response when he was more difficult to dunk on than LeBron James in his prime? Crickets. Yes, the normally chatty politician suddenly became silent. Maybe she was too distracted to respond with, "What's a GED?" Google search. Or maybe she was just shocked that someone could finally explain her place to her without the need for a time machine or a crayon box. But while MTG was playing a quiet game, the public was having a field day. Social media blew up like an overindulged Christmas tree. At a mega event, memes went viral faster than fake news. People were passing around Crockett zingers like it was the final pizza at a fraternity party. And let's talk about Crockett for a little while. There were definitely a ton of virtual fist bumps and high fives in her email. It's difficult to comprehend how quickly this woman went from being largely unknown to becoming a political rock star. I yield my time to the gentlewoman who actually graduated high school. Some Republicans were also giving her the old wink winks and nudge nudges. Reaching across the aisle is exactly what I mean when I say that, since it seems like one of them said, "I love your eyelashes." Yet she wasn't the only person receiving praise from politicians.
That you could use should you run into
okay.
Marjorie again, all right? Hoagie head, horsehair, Hitler happy, hate hobbit. These are all for you, and use them as often as you like.
Following the exchange, her pastor was among the first to contact Crockett. Is there an amen for coming clean to those in power? Speaking of power moves, after viewing this viral scene, the Biden team decided to send this woman out on the campaign trail. Before you could say election season, Crockett was out there pushing the campaign message like butter on hot toast. With regard to Kimmel, well, this was sophisticated comedic gold. I venture to say that he laughed all the way to the ratings agency. He made the most of the MTG roast, and his show became the go-to venue for political garbage. He even suggested that Crockett use a couple more zingers the next time, as if she really needed the help. That would be like teaching Gordon Ramsay how to yell at people or teaching Michael Jordan how to play basketball. But the exchanges were not limited to chuckles and grins. This quickly became a serious political weapon after going viral. Using her newfound fame, Crockett reminded people of the important things in life. You know, the uninteresting stuff like voting and legislation. She seemed to be trying to teach political science in the middle of a comedy club when she remarked, "Hey, don't just focus on the names. Look at the whole team and what they're offering." T-shirts with Crockett's now famous phrase were being sold to raise money because there can never be a political moment without someone trying to profit from it. Merchandise appeared faster than you could say capitalism. Since nothing says, "I support democracy," like a t-shirt featuring the Congresswoman getting roasted.